Okay, I want to talk about something else. This is an image from the Tamron 70 to 200 2.8 VC lens. 24 elements, I believe. Of course, I've already made an enormous amount of videos about field theory. There is one specific criteria that you will not find on any website. It's a combination of a few different factors, but one of the most important ones is that each glass, it doesn't matter how good the glass is or how expensive it is, that glass is a dielectric capacitor. I've showed you the video with the Leyden jar experiment showing that electrostatic charge, which, by the way, is what makes up light. What do you think powers solar panels, by the way? The dielectric capacitance is stored by the glass. The issue with so many glass elements, even if they're the best in the world, say NASA spit them out, or it's a $60,000 Zeiss lens. Even Zeiss and Leica and the rest of them will admit that no matter how good the lens is, now they've never defined it because none of these idiots that are experts in optics know about field theory. I mean, they really don't. The best experts in the world, if you think that they've been reading Tesla, Steinmetz, Faraday, Oliver Heaviside, Maxwell, and they don't know jack crap about field theory. They do know that too much glass, no matter how good the glass is, causes issues. I'm going to be adding a criteria on each lens page on NikonFocus.com. I've deemed it renditional distortion. Now you can see this image, well, it's beautiful and it's sharp. It has two issues so far as a glass element that has, a lens that has so many glass elements. One, the higher capacitance, the lights such as the blues and the greens are absorbed. These greens would be a lot richer. I meant to make this video, but I was reminded to make it today when a person posted a comment to me and they said, "Oh my God, I just picked up that lens that you recommended, that cheap 105 millimeter 2.5 Nikkor," and he said, or she said, I used to have that other lens, and it's the same. Of course, it's a macro lens, but it doesn't make any difference because you can use this macro lens for just normal shots as well. It doesn't have to be macro. But this lens has 14 elements in it. Okay. Of course, they never mentioned that. They said, well, the pictures on this lens are just so incredible. Everything pops. It looks like it's three-dimensional on the print and on the screen. And you can see the flatness here on this 24 element Tamron. It's just flat. It's sharp. It's a pretty picture, but the blues are washed out. You can see these blues here. And the greens are a little bit washed out. The higher frequency, because light is a dielectric capacitor. When light passes through that many glass elements, it's an issue. And there is not a quantified measurement that any place online will talk about, well, this lens is great, it's super sharp, it has X distortion, it has X chromatic aberration, it has XYZ vignetting, but you won't talk, none of these people, I have to introduce another criteria for lenses, and it's really important. And now you could read about element count. Well, X lens has so many elements in it. And I've told you the secret of why prime lenses generally are far superior. But I was reminded to make this specific video so far as adding stuff to NikonFocus.com, and I'm going to call it Renditional Distortion. You can see how flat this is. There's no depth. Everything just looks like, especially like in portraiture, I call it iron face. Looks like the whole thing, foreground and background, was just iron flat, and it's all kind of sitting on a tight two-dimensional plane. You do not get proper perspective in the picture. And the reason for that is element count. It doesn't matter how good the glass is. It's not merely dielectric capacitance. There's actually 3 and 4 variables involved. But, I was reminded to make this when a person said, "Oh my God, I've been shooting that 105 millimeter, but why is this lens producing so much better images than this expensive $1,000 105 millimeter Nikkor?" And I said, well, that's the reason. You won't read about this anywhere online. You just won't. You'll read about chromatic aberration, distortion, vignetting, sharpness, blah, 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 blah. There is another lens criteria, and it pisses me off that I'm the first person to mention it. And it's real, it's quantifiable, it's seemingly ineffable. But people talk about, well, there's something about the same focal length, even identical sharpness, that there's something about the prime lens that it just looks better. What is it? It's ineffable, I can't put my finger on it. Well, the answer is that. Doesn't matter how good the glass is, it's an issue. Glass is glass is glass. Top quality to crap quality. They all have dielectric capacitance, which makes up the energy which makes up light. And I'm going to be calling it renditional distortion, and I'm going to be giving a value of 1 to 10 for each lens. You can either take it or leave it, but each lens has many qualities, but an important one to distinguish is what you see lacking in this beautiful image is that it has renditional distortion. The depth is not there. It is flat. It is very two-dimensional. If we were to take this exact same shot at the exact same time, exact same exposure, same field of view with the prime lens, you would see the difference. Okay, you would see it. It's very palpable. But the reason is this lens has 5 glass elements in it, and this is an old lens. The elements, the glass and the coating on this $1,000 micro Nikkor are superior. Superior. So why is the image inferior? Why is the image inferior? Let me turn that off a second there. Why is the image inferior on this? Then this old lens right here is 30-some years old, which doesn't have a good glass count, element count. You can actually almost see them there. 1 element, 2 element, 3 element, 4 element, 5 elements. Okay, so this is a basically, until now, non-existent lens criteria, but it does exist. It's palpable, it's there, it's ineffable. And people talk, well, why are prime lenses so much better? And, you know, sometimes I read, well, prime lenses are better because they have fewer glass elements. Well, that's a description. That's not an explanation. I want an explanation for why. Well, that's the explanation, folks. It takes someone that knows a lot about field theory and about optics, and said the optical folks don't, they don't talk about this, but it's not merely a matter of refractive index or astigmatism. It is the nature of glass. You make a gigantic barrel and you throw a crap load of glass elements in there, it causes this effed up mess. It's like, well, this is a pretty picture. I don't see what's wrong with it. You're right, it is a pretty picture, but you lack perspective, baby. I take the same picture and I use a prime with low element count. You will see the difference, honey bunny. Okay? So, I want to let you know that I'm going to be adding that, and I'm going to be calling it renditional distortion on a scale of 1 to 10. And thanks for watching, and this is something you will not see or read about anywhere else. And glad I could bring it to you, and I will catch you later after I go eat a sandwich and drink a coffee.